What you're about to see is a re-upload of the introduction to my Call of Duty Infinite Warfare live stream that occurred on the day before I'm posting this video. I wanted to express some of the things that were on my heart, and I noticed that in reviewing the footage that there was some issue with the capture of that footage, so you're going to see a couple of glitches here or there. So I wanted to take this time out to apologize for that here and now. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so we've had a series of events in society. I did mention what happened to Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia, where some people believe that they had the right to end this man's life because he was trying to defend his own while he was jogging down a path, because they believe that he trespassed on a piece of property that the owner of the property said that he didn't trespass on. We had a situation here in my own city of New York where a woman decided that she didn't want to follow the leash laws that we have here in New York City, where you have to have your dog on a leash, and when reminded that she was legally liable for what happens with the dog when off the leash, and also while being videotaped, she willfully filed a false police report claiming that this black man was threatening her life, when it was very, very clear exactly what she was doing and why she was doing it.
Alright, I'm back.
And before we can even get away from that firestorm, we witnessed a man in the state of Minnesota that had a police officer dig his knee into his cervical spine while he was handcuffed, not struggling or resisting, and while he's pleading for help and pleading for the police not to kill him, the police officer waits until long after his body goes limp and waits for him to pass away as people are screaming to get off of him. His colleagues, because we hear a lot about the good police officer and how the good cops get a bad rap from the bad cops, but we had 3 other officers that were just kind of standing around with their hands in their pockets. Like, we don't need to provide first aid, even though you're legally required to do so as a law enforcement officer. He's saying he can't breathe. I don't really think we care so much. We don't care. That's bad enough. What makes it worse is the response from certain people in America who, when shown the footage that they were shown on Tuesday of one of the most grisly and egregious, blatant murders in broad daylight on camera being filmed, a certain segment of the American population lost their voices. They completely forgot how to use their thumbs to get on Twitter and to get on Facebook and to get on social media, when it was clear that all of the deflective bullshit that they would normally bring to the table, like, why didn't he just comply? Well, he complied. Well, what about the murder rate in Chicago? Well, what about this? And what about... It was so obvious that they didn't have anything to say. So on Tuesday, they were silent. Got your tongue? But today, we get these reports of looting and destruction of property, and oh my fucking god, these guys found their fucking voices. Oh my god, inanimate objects are being destroyed. Now it's our time to speak out in defense of the Pampers that were stolen, the TVs, the iPhones, the windows that were broken. These are the things that matter in life. Not the lives that are being taken senselessly for no reason, with no repercussions, with no restitution. Those things don't matter. We don't have a voice for that because that's not important to us. But when you're reminding them that they care more about things than actual human lives, all of a sudden, oh, well, it was tragic. Where the fuck was your "it was tragic" on Tuesday? Where were you on Tuesday when the man had a knee and hit the back of his fucking neck while he was face down? Where were you then? Where was your voice and your outrage? No, but you care about inanimate objects. You care about shit that is insured. All the shit that was lost at Target and all that shit is insured. Those places are going to be rebuilt and restocked like that. But George will not get his life back. His family is devastated for the rest of that bloodline. And us as minorities are looking at the situation as, fuck, man. We are going to be next. Do you really think that the big screen TV that was stolen is worried, wow, the next one that's manufactured is going to be the next to be looted? Why do we care so fucking much about inanimate objects? But when people are being murdered senselessly in the street by the very people who are commissioned to serve and protect, you have nothing to say. Nothing to say. But when I make it clear to you that your callousness is showing and your thinly veiled racism is kind of showing, all of a sudden, now you found your humanity. Oh yeah, it was tragic. It was senseless. But you just went back and forth with me on social media for a half an hour talking about inanimate objects and how now you don't care about the murders. Oh, wait, so what you're telling me is that if the people of Minneapolis, Minnesota didn't riot just this one time, that you were actually going to band together to finally stop the brutality after 400 years of racial oppression in this country, if we just didn't loot in May of 2020, if we just didn't loot in Minneapolis, we were going to start giving a fuck. Really? Really? I'm supposed to believe that? It's fucking bullshit. I like to keep the streams nice and light. We make fun of people. We do this and that. Whatever. But this had to be addressed. This is going to be the only time I address it. Why? Because it's been addressed dozens upon dozens upon dozens of times. We have law enforcement officers that are killing people, and then you have the wannabe law enforcement officers. Yeah, we're making a citizen's arrest. Right? That's where we're at with it. I don't give a fuck about your inanimate objects. And I damn sure don't give a fuck about your insured merchandise that was stolen. Whoop-de-fucking-do. And one more point. I like how people are responding to the reaction to the atrocity, but not responding to the atrocity. Do you really think that those stores would have been burned, broken, and looted if the murder didn't occur? Why haven't the officers who, granted, they were terminated from employment, all right, give you that. Why is nobody in custody? Why in Georgia, the only way that the guys were actually found out about and then arrested and charged was because their accomplice thought that, well, yeah, we killed a nigger. See? It was justified. See? He tried to take the shotgun out of his hand when the guy was chasing him with a shotgun. He was defending his own life. What is a nigger doing trying to defend his own life? And then you end up getting the guys arrested because people who are reasonable are saying, yeah, that's a fucking murder. None of us would have even fucking known about Ahmaud Arbery's murder. We would not have even known about it if that guy didn't leak that video in an attempt to try to make what they did seem okay. And you want to know what's really fucked up and what really twisted me about the Georgia situation? Is that the local police department wanted to go detain and charge these men, but their district attorney, the person that was elected by the county to serve justice, said, nah, We're not going to prosecute that. And people want to know why the rioting and the looting happens. I got to hear for 3 years about how horrible a person Colin Kaepernick is for peacefully taking a knee at the directive of Nate Boyer, who was in the military. He asked him to respectfully take a knee. It was a peaceful protest. Right? But no one gave a fuck. When people were marching in the streets, no one cared. When people were protesting, no one cared. When there was a peaceful demonstration, no one cared. But you only care when the rioting and the looting happens. Well, how the fuck do you think we got to this point? Do you think that one atrocity happened and one person got off and then people were like, oh yeah, we need to destroy our town? No, we're witnessing murder after murder after murder after murder, and people are getting away with murder. Amber Geiger got an effective 5-year term for breaking into a man's house and shooting him in the fucking chest and killing him. Everybody's giving her hugs and Bibles. We minorities don't get that kind of treatment. We don't. So we got to see people getting slaps on the wrist, getting off scot-free time and time and time again. And you know what happens? The rage builds. But now you want to tell the oppressed people how to be oppressed when you don't really relate to anything that they're going through. You don't have any frame of reference of what black people go through in this fucking country, but you want to tell us how to react to the bad things that happen to us that don't happen to you. How the fuck does that make any sense? That would be like a homeless man trying to advise a billionaire on how to do their taxes. You don't know what it's like to be a fucking billionaire. How the fuck are you going to tell the rich man how to pay his taxes? You can't relate. Likewise, how the fuck are you going to tell a black person, how to acceptably express your rage when you see another person get murdered in the streets and no one gives a fuck? Oh, I feared for my life. He was laying face down on the ground and he was handcuffed and he wasn't moving. And the fact that he was breathing put my life in danger. Oh my God. I had to keep my knee in his spine. And they get off scot-free. And then the black parents have to go to their children. Let's not forget Tamir Rice, 12 years old in Ohio, had police jump out the car and start shooting him because he was playing with a toy gun in the park. Right? No charges filed. Right? Went to the police department, was still an incompetent cop where he went. Right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter the gender. Let's not forget Sandra Bland, who got Epsteined in jail. Let's not forget about that. So I want to make it really, really fucking clear. I want to make it very painfully fucking clear. When I got to hear from you about the murder rate in Chicago, and these statistics, and that statistic, and these looted stores, and these broken windows, and these cars set on fire, and these walls vandalized, when I got to hear about that, and the only thing you're not talking about is the atrocity, I know exactly what you're trying to tell me.
At this point, I thought that I was done ranting. I wasn't, apparently. I thought about editing the second part of this because it wasn't very smooth, and I just kind of wanted it to be a smooth video, but I think it's more important for it to just be given to you how it happened, in the moment, and how I thought and felt in the moment. So I decided not to edit it. So here's the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm fucking hot today. And I'm gonna get to some of these. I'm gonna get to some of these comments. I'm fucking heated. I'm probably not gonna play well today, but I don't really give a fuck. This shit really upsets me. Because there might come a day where you guys will not see an upload again. And I'm gonna get text messages from Parental and Serial asking, why are you going to get on? And then 3 weeks later, are you okay? And maybe somebody swept my murder under the fucking table. These are things that these are situations that we go through that are unique to us and only us. Because when white families send their kids out into the street, they don't have to worry about the police. Oh my God, I was so fearful. I had to shoot them. I had to do this and that to them. I had to do. That is something that is unique to blackness that a lot of people can't identify with. And you know what? If you can't identify with what black people go through in this fucking country, then just be empathetic. Think about how it would feel if you were under that guy's neck and there was nothing you could do. You can't breathe. You've got a guy's body weight on your cervical spine. And I should know, I've had a cervical spine injury. I was debilitated for 10 years. My neck is still not 100%. So, let's get that out of the way, right? These are things I don't talk to you guys about necessarily, but it doesn't take so much. The only thing that you need to do, because we're not asking for certain members of our population to be superheroes and magically stop what's happening. The only thing that we're looking for is for you to act like a fucking human being. That's all we're asking. We're not asking for too much. We're not for you to, jump in and save every black person. Just be a fucking human being. Try to understand where somebody else might be coming from. Think about what it would be like if you feared that you would not get due process. If you were executed in the street by a judge, jury, and executioner because he just fucking felt like it. You never get to see a judge. You never get arraigned. You never get to speak with a lawyer. Your life is over. And now there is a huge void left with your loved ones, your family, and your friends. I've been pulled over before, and I've had middling experiences with police officers. I got pulled over once by these two assholes. So I used to live in Harlem. I don't live in Harlem anymore. I used to. Yo, Doug, I'm going to read this comment. Doug Gonda says the game plan is to have riots happen. The virus didn't piss people off enough. We still have our National Guard stationed in those areas for a reason. I can't say that what you're saying is not reasonable. There might be something to it. Hold on, I dropped my controller. Yeah, Verdorbin doesn't understand. So Verdorbin is from Europe. I think he's in like Belgium or Germany. Verdorbin, we have a situation where a police officer murdered a handcuffed suspect. I think the police were called because the store that he was trying to make a purchase at assumed that he was trying to write a bad check and called the police. The police claimed that the man resisted, but there are there's multiple footage that shows the man not resisting at all. When they threw him to the ground, several police officers placed their body weight with their knees on his body. One of them placed their knee in the back of the cervical spine, right? So your cervical spine. So like you have the sacral spine, which is at the very bottom of your spine. You have the lumbar spine, which most people hurt. That's the lower back. You have the thoraxar, and you have the cervical spine, which houses a lot of important shit near the brain. That's where that officer decided to put his body weight via his knee in the back of his neck. The guy was pleading for the officer not to kill him, was telling him that he could not breathe. And then the officer kept his knee on the back of his neck until long after his body went limp. That's what happened. And people, reasonable people, are outraged that a murder occurred at the hands of a government representative. And still no charges filed. He still has not been arrested. Oh, and the other 3 officers stood around with their hands in their pocket. Just another day out on the beat. We just killing black people. It ain't no big deal, right? That's why people are outraged. Kobe Shanks says they have 4 cops on one. I'm about to cry. I don't want to get emotional on the stream, man, but like I'm getting flashes. I'm getting flashes of rage and sadness, despair. Like a lot of the hope that I have for humanity just keeps fluctuating up and down, and it just keeps, and it goes up a little bit and then 2 steps down and then up 1 step because you see somebody do something heroic. We saw a former WWE wrestler toss his young son to a lifeguard before he got swept away by a rip current. You know? And you're like, wow, there are courageous people in the world. And maybe we do have some fucking hope in this world. Maybe. Just maybe. You know, and then we got, you know, we get what we get. You know? It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. I don't even know what more I could say. I mean, people who look like me have been pleading emotionally for decades, for centuries in this country. You don't have to give us free phones. You don't have to give us free college. You don't have to do anything. Stop fucking killing us. You know? Like, is that hard? Is that hard? Like, I don't know. Put me in the back of the police cruiser, book me, and then, you know, let me go see the judge? Is it that fucking hard? But then to add insult to injury, I gotta hear from white people telling me why he deserved to die. Like, how fucked up is that? Who's saying that about? Who's saying that about really anybody else? Who's saying that? If he just would have, we got trained. We have trained law enforcement officers that are allowed to fly off the handle emotionally. But the black man has to be docile and kiss the boot just to hope that he can make it to the police precinct. I gotta hope to make it to the police precinct. Like, bad enough if I get strung up by the cops, like I gotta worry about being trapped in the legal system. Now I gotta worry about not even making it there at all. Fuck, man. Fuck. 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 Oh, shit. Is this broken now? I think it broke my controller when I dropped it. Oh, no, it's alright. It's alright. Alright, we good. Yeah, sorry for getting all emotional on you, man, because, You know, I know I get a lot of
So he wasn't writing a bad check. He was trying to use the forged $20 bill.
he probably didn't even know. He probably didn't even know that it was fake. But do you know how much? Do you know how much? You know how much counterfeit currency gets passed every day?
So the guy lost his life over a non-violent crime.
That he probably didn't even know he was committing the crime.
That's my point too. One time I got handed a fake $100 bill at Walmart. Should I be dead too then? I asked for cash back at $100 at Walmart one time. The lady handed me the 100, and I looked at it myself and I said, "This is fake." And she's like, "What?" Like, and then they had to call security. I'm like, "Listen, you guys just gave me this. I never left the store."
Yo, you know what? In the there's a beautiful thing Carbon just said in the Twitch part of the stream. He says, I don't know what primarily happened with this situation, but that doesn't mean I can't relate to a situation. My parents are divorced, and my mom is currently married to a black guy. His name is Ernie. My mom thought I wouldn't like her getting married to a black guy when she is white. It doesn't matter what color you are. Purple, blue, pink, brown, white, etc. A person is a person. Treat them the same.
Like I told you, Evo, I grew up blind. So, I mean, I grew up to where I thought everybody was just a human being. I never, I was not raised in a racist